Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ashish Jaiswal. I hope you had a productive day one and you were able to manage your 10,000 steps yesterday. If you haven't, don't worry, your Fitbit or the Apple Watch will not say anything to you yet. But if you haven't, you have still time today. The day two has a lot in store for you, so you can do that again. Just to give you a background, I'm going to be the moderator for this event today, the session, which is Student Talk, Higher Education Choices, Fostering Curiosity, and Bridging Expectation. Given this session is right after lunch, I am actually quite pleased to see the numbers. I wasn't expecting more than 10 people. Either you guys are very dedicated or you haven't been able to find a good spot for sleeping. Before I begin, I want to introduce myself. I want to let you know who I am and why I'm standing here. I am a volunteer with IC3 Movement. I serve as the IC3 leader on the Inclusion, Diversity and Scholarship Committee. And I also have a full-time job. I am the General Manager India for the University of Reading, a top 200 university based in the UK with campuses in Malaysia and South Africa. Today, we have the privilege of directly hearing from 412 standard students about their higher education journey. These students are at a stage where they're going to be making a very crucial decision in terms of where they're going to study later on in their life. They're here to share their hopes, dreams, and existential crisis about choosing a university. As we listen to their perspective, I encourage all counselors, the university representatives, and I do think there are some parents in the audience. Are there any parents in the audience? Excellent. Thank you so much. To understand how we can better support their journey about choosing a university or going about the higher education, remember, our job is to support them, not to confuse them. Let's leave that job when they are going on the first day to the college. This panel offers a unique perspective in a way that you're going to get an understanding about the university these students are going to be applying to, what is their thought process, and how do they go about it. In the end, we want to let them know life is not only about acing tests, it is also about getting a good night's sleep and maintaining a social life as well apart from the test. Now, before we start, I am going to ask them to introduce themselves, and I'm only doing it because some of the schools' names are very difficult for me to pronounce, and I do not want to make any mistake. So without, in any particular order, let's go with Jay. He's sitting on the right end.
So I'm Jay Kalra, a student of grade 12 at Wasant Valley School. I'm interested in developmental economics. I've explored this through internships with the Gates Foundation and with the German Red Cross. I'm glad to be here.
Hello everyone, I'm Anumita Sahani. I'm from grade 12, studying very clearly in Lotus Valley, Noida, and I'm interested to pursue law and international relations.
Hi everyone, my name is Tulika Rathod. I am from Scottish High International School. I plan on pursuing design and technology such as product design.
Hello everyone, my name is Siddhant Agnani. I'm a grade 12 student of Kunskap School and International, the school Ashish might have been talking about, and I want to pursue computer science.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the introduction. Before I start, I just want to highlight that this is the first time at the IC3 we have a student talk. So this is the first time we have student voices, that how they feel about the education, how they're looking after higher education, and what do they expect for the schools, colleges, in terms of providing the support, in terms of when they're making the applications. Now, before I begin, I know you all come from very good school. I'm not biased towards 4 schools of yours, but I think all schools are great. But the schools where you come from, there is a counseling program or there is a counseling section. I want to know from each one of you, how has your school counseling program influenced your approach in exploring higher education options?
Right, so Ashish. So what I would like to say is that school counseling has helped me make my decision and helped me explore more decisions, not just CS, but other decisions such as psychology, such as economics. And my counselor has also helped me get opportunities where I can go to different universities and internships, so I can clearly explore all my options and clearly decide whether I would like to do and what I would like to do with my life.
Right. So in our school, we have counseling in different stages. You have individual one on one, then you have one in groups, then you have one with the entire batch altogether. And that also works in different areas. One is deciding what you want to do, and the other is how would you pursue that. And in the middle of those two things, what happens in our school particularly is we are taught about that gap between schools and universities. So there's obviously a lot of differences between these two frames. And once we reach the college, we're usually overwhelmed. So how do we stop that? How do we reduce that? That is what we learn here at our counseling. So felicitation helps wonderfully.
So, counseling. Uh, Sorry for this. So, counseling in my school has helped me a lot. I think it's more than helping in higher education choices in deciding what I want to study. It's helped me grow as a person. It in the sphere of higher education, it helps me decide and it helped guide me on what I want to pursue. Like a discussion with my counselor has helped me understand what my true passions are. It helped me decide what subject should I take when I was going to grade 10. Should I go down science? Should I go down the social science stream? Should I mix subjects to pursue my true interest? I think this is one way that it has helped me. Additionally, it has also helped me reflect and figure out, like, I want to do quizzing. I'm interested in quizzing and I want to do it. So why should I do it, right? It's helped me understand myself better. I think that is something which is very crucial.
I completely agree with everyone else here. And as Jay said, it helped me grow as a person as well. So, one thing that's great about IB is that you get to explore many different groups and you don't have to go through one stream. So, my counselor helped me embrace that and helped me get into separate subjects which I was interested in to eventually land on something that I would like to pursue. So, yeah.
Great, thank you. So, if I've understood it correctly, and for the audience as well, you feel that because there was a counseling program or a counseling division within your school, it has helped you to make the informed choices. I'm very pleased to know that, because I think this is one of the IC3 missions as well, counseling in every school. This is why we are trying to push this out, because while you're studying a separate division or a school counseling program makes a lot of difference. Now let's go in a bit deeper in terms of to understand, and going with the constant theme for this year is that, Anumita, maybe I'm just going to put you on spot over here. Can you describe a moment when a school counselor or teacher has made an impact on your higher education choices, or may have kind of probed you to think something differently for a career choice you wanted to make?
You put me on spot wonderfully, but I do have a story. So I want to pursue law, especially in India. So I planned to give CLAT as an exam. And one random day I was studying for my CLAT questions in school, and a teacher who was sitting right next to me came and asked, "What am I doing?" I explained it to her that I'm doing this and that and I want to pursue that. And then she looked at me and she asked, "So is NLSIU, which is National Law School Bangalore, the top school for law in India, is that the end goal?" I answered, "Yes, absolutely. Who is it? It isn't." And then she looked at me for a minute very seriously and then she said, "That's sad." And I was surprised because why would that be a sad goal to have? I laughed at her, then I asked her, "Why is that sad?" She looked at me and she said, "Because once you get it, you will be sad, simply because that is not your end goal." And that's when I realized she's right. The college isn't the end goal, the subject is. I want to pursue law because I'm in love with the subject, not because I want to get into some university. And this is where students make mistakes. We get so into the rat race, we forget that we want to pursue this subject because we love it, not because we want to get into X and Y university. And that rat race gets to you at times. So this is where it did change my perspective.
What about you, Talika? Do you have any similar experience?
Right. So, as I said, my counselor helped me decide between different groups of subjects. So, in the beginning, I was going to take physics, business, and possibly computer science because I was thinking of doing engineer with a possible entrepreneurial aspect. Then she asked me to think about chemistry. I had chemistry previously, and she told me that if you do want to pursue design and technology, why not look into material sciences? We all know that physics and chemistry go very well together. And as I delve deeper into material sciences, it has been the topic of all my researches and everything I've come to become more and more passionate about. So I definitely agree with Anamita. The end goal is to pursue what you're passionate about. And my counselor has really helped me see that.
I'm so glad that you're listening to your school teachers and counselor. I was a different story altogether. When I was in my year 12, no, year 11 actually, I had physics, chemistry, bio, and maths. And one day my maths teacher told me that, Ashish, do yourself a favor and drop maths. If you really, really want to pass your 11th and 12th standard, and there are a lot of careers apart from becoming an engineering. And at that point in time, I was quite taken aback, but I think that was a very good choice I made. Otherwise, I would be still studying somewhere and doing my year 12. Uh, now we've got this correctly done. That I mean, I understood it correctly. That the school counseling makes a lot of difference. As a student, you do look up to your teachers and counselor for support and advice, and I'm pleased to know that you listen to them, which is very nice. I'm sure you have best teachers. Are the teachers in this room somewhere sitting from their schools? Excellent. Thank you so much. But yeah, you're doing an excellent job. Believe me, you're doing an excellent job. Uh, I want to go on to one of you guys, okay? I'm just going to drop the question, and one of you have to just answer it. You don't have any choice. Let's just talk about. So we've spoken about the school, we've spoken about the counselor, teachers, and everything. We're going to talk about the education system at the year 12 level. How do you feel about it? Do you think your current year 12 or year 11 education system gives you the ability to kind of foster curiosity and the love for learning? And do you think, are there any changes you want to make to that? Or do you think your current education system only focuses on grades or competition?
So, my current education. So, my current education system, I'm from a CBSE background. My school follows the CBSE board. And I mean, my school has helped me foster curiosity. The education system has helped me. We've gone outside the textbook, but I think we need more of that as a part of the CBSE education system. We shouldn't just focus on rote learning. I think there are three major things which I would like to focus on. One is going outside the textbook, looking at other sources of knowledge, both sources which can confirm the information and even sources which may go against the information, go against your point of view, right? Then the other thing is also about how I think we need to focus more on applied learning, because that's the system which is present in other countries also. And I think if students want to go there, then it's tougher for them to adapt, right, if it's not applied. So I think, let's say for example, I'm learning about demand and supply in economics. I should be let me create my own model and figure out and understand the concept of demand and supply through that, right? Not just learn these are the factors which affect demand and these are the factors which affect supply. Then lastly, I think also one more thing which can be done is interdisciplinary projects. I think this is something which is being done, but it can be improved upon. So you can combine all your interests. Like I have an interest in political science and in economics. I've been able to combine those, right, by doing like my CBSE project on CSR, so about policy and also about economics, right? So, and one more thing, one suggestion which I have, I understand it's going to be tough, but if we have something which is close to like a core curriculum for different streams, because I understand students want to pursue different things, but I think if you have a core curriculum, that's going to be absolutely revolutionizing, because it's going to help people explore all different subjects. Like even if I'm doing economics, I will pursue some science, I'll pursue some humanities, etc. Yeah. So that is what.
So I would like to say that for me, it was way back in 8th grade, not just 11th, 12th. So it was when our 8th grade marks, finals marks had just come out, and I got bad marks in science and maths. And I knew that I had the potential to do it, but the system was not working for me, the rote learning system. So me and my parents, we decided to switch to IGCSE, the Cambridge side of it. And that ways, I think that helped a lot, because now I can apply my knowledge rather than just rote learning and then noting it down in an exam. Because in Cambridge, I believe, I think, and I know that in like in economics, They ask us questions based on what we've learned rather than what is written in the textbook. So we can apply our knowledge. And that is my school has also helped me because they have helped me go around and into multiple subjects to explore everything.
Excellent. Before I make a comment on that, Jay, would you want to change seats with me? Because I feel like I've asked a wrong question and opened a Pandora box by asking that question to you. Because believe me, when I was in year 12, the only thing I could think of was lunch, dinner, and how I can manage my homework for that evening. But yeah, that good to know that you guys are really in the forefront. Sorry.
Can I have the IB perspective also?
Sure.
Because I heard CBSE and IG.
Absolutely, and I was about to.
Thank you.
Right. So the IB perspective for the same would be we have applied learning. We have multiple transdisciplinary classes, interdisciplinary classes, which is part of the whole holistic approach of IB, and it's part of the core curriculum of IB. We also have different essays in which we have TOK, for example, theory of knowledge. We have to write an essay in that in which we have to pursue different areas of knowledge which are regarding different groups that we have. So we have 6 groups. We have the sciences, maths, languages, and then we have English languages, then maths. Yeah, so different groups, right? So we have to combine all of them and explore in depth as to what could possibly be the answer to a certain question or how different answers could contradict themselves. And not only just that, we have something known as CAS, which is creativity, activity, and service. So in that as well, we take up different initiatives based on different subjects. They don't even have to be related to a subject, but of course, in the end, they do end up in coordination with something. So we can also plan projects based on that. And yeah, I believe IB has a very holistic approach to learning. Yes.
I'm not going to start a war between IB, A-level, and CBSE and Indian boards. But Anumita, I'm going to give you a chance as well. I think everyone has spoken. What are your thoughts on this one? Do you think your current education system only focuses on grades and competition, or does it give you a leeway for fostering curiosity or love for learning?
You know, Ashish, if I'm talking about me as a student, I have a difficult time in staying in classes in the sense that I'll get up and I'd like to leave. So I want to explore things, go around, look for things, just get to talk and move around. And that is not the best thing to do when it comes to rote learning, right? Which is why, and I'm wearing so many badges. It's very visible. And I'm doing so simply because our education system isn't simply based on rote learning. At the end of the day, you have syllabus, you also have some activities to do, and you also have some projects to plan on. More than that, what's really important in any education system is the chances you give to students where they can explore and express themselves. I'm talking about student-led events in your schools. And when that happens, we learn multiple things, not just academically. Recently, I made an ME1 in our school. Obviously, I learned about the ME1 aspect of it all, how international relations work, what to do, what not to do, but I also learned about how to manage an event, from making a budget to making events possible to just making the entire setup of this particular room. It's a hard task, but it's super fun. And as students, that's what we want. We want to learn not just from the syllabus, but also from the other perspectives, making events, having fun in school, moving around and missing classes as well. And that's what we like.
Believe me, we all want to miss classes at some point in our life. I am going to go back. I am going to go back and ask a very different question altogether. I think this would be particularly interested for universities. As a student, you're all going to be applying to higher education. You're going to be applying to schools, at universities in India, university abroad, and I'm sure you're in the process of navigating that information. Given the fact that today you have everything on the web, more than on the web, that what you desire or what you need, how do you manage your expectation by going through that particular information? How do you do that? And how do you kind of narrow it down to the one university where you want to apply? And the other question is, to this particular question, is that what kind of support are you looking from the universities to help you in terms of making that decision? Because I assume when universities come to your school, everyone is in top 100 or top 200 or top 300 and top 400. I think keeping the ranking aside is a completely different choice altogether. And given the grades you guys going to achieve, probably you would be able to apply to all the schools or the universities you think of. So what do you think about that? Who's going to go first? Let's start at the extreme end. Go on.
So I would like to say that for me, career choices, information, sorry. Resources, I'm glad that these resources are available, I must say. And I'm glad that from the past it has changed and the resources have grown for us. But right now, I feel there's too much information available. And clawing through that information and gathering the correct one and the credible one, which is for me, I find it difficult to do. And that way, I think even IC3 movement of getting a counselor available to everyone helps, because my counselor has also helped me decide which information is credible, because then I get another view on the information. And that way is how university can help me, is that maybe they could be very clear, extremely clear. I know it might hurt them, but be extremely clear about what they require.
So I think, yeah, I can go next. So I think there is, of course, a wealth of information. Navigating it is tough. It is overwhelming. Like every college will tell you everything that they offer, but at least I think it has many positives. Look, so a college gives colleges tell you the values they look for, what they look for in a student, what are the values they uphold, what research are they currently doing. You'd even get to know about the courses in every course that is being taught by a professor in a college, right? But on the other hand, there are other aspects to this also. I mean, I attended a virtual tour by a college. It transported me to that college, showed me what that college is, right? I can visibly tell you, there was a current student of that college holding a phone, going around campus and showing me what that college is. What is the vibe of that college? Is that college a good fit for me? I think this is the question that this information that colleges are providing has helped me figure out which college do I want to go to, what is my dream university. That is something what it has helped. Now I think this is the type of information, right? Like the student blogs, etc., which are other sources of information also. But I think you need to figure out what source of information you want to go to. There are some people who will decide to go on a Reddit forum, figure out what gets you into a certain college, what are the values this college upholds. But I personally will not do that. I would rather go through the student blogs, read through them, read through the section about the college, figure out what. So I think that is what you need to figure out, like what source of information you want and what type of information, right? The counselors in school have helped me through this. My counselors have talked to me about how to research colleges. They've asked me, did you figure out where you fit in? Where you fit in into that community that the college has, where your values match up with the college's values. So I think, yeah, that is very important.
So before I go to Nimita and Talika, I just want to wrap up your points as well from Siddhant and Jay. So from your point, Jay, a video of the campus or a 3D view of the campus makes a difference for you to make that decision, because there are not many videos of the campus still on the net. There will be a point that will be flooded sooner or later. And coming back to your point in terms of B, I think, do you feel that when you are interacting with the universities and you're looking to apply somewhere, does the information from your school counselor makes a lot of difference, their knowledge, that is somewhere you trust them? And when it comes down to a university rep, let's say if I come to your school and I'm going to be telling you, oh, I'm one of the best universities in the world and you can come to us, the campus is beautiful, there is 140 nationalities and you have XYZ Olympics like swimming pool and everything. I'm sure you can't compare one university to another universities. The offerings are completely different and they always cater to a different market altogether. But I'm just saying that how do you believe that, where do they make a choice? What is that ultimate decision? Is it the school, teacher, your parents, or do you believe in the universities when they are directly interacting with you, if they are completely honest with you whether it's the right thing to do or not?
So I personally believe the universities will give you the correct information. They're not going to come up here and make up stuff and just tell you that. They're going to give you the correct information. I trust my counselors also. Okay. And because they tell me like what a college offers. For me personally, what is the most important is my degree, what I want to pursue, and what college is the best for that. That is what is most important for me. My counselors give me information which is accurate. I researched the colleges myself also to figure out what is the college offering to me. So yeah.
What do you have to say, Siddhant, on this?
So I would like to say that counselors that ways have helped a lot. And honestly, I am thankful to have a counselor because so some information sources might be too much, and a university that has all that, it might not be the best for me as a human. And that way, my counselor has helped me realize who I am and what I want to do, where I want to do it, and how I'm going to do it.
Great. The boys have spoken. Let's go to the girls. What they have to say. I'm sure it will be a different narrative altogether.
No, it isn't a different narrative from him. I absolutely agree with what Siddhant said. You know, Ashish, not that I want to make you sound old, but we come from different generations.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've been hearing this a lot. Believe me.
You're absolutely right when you said that your time is very different from ours. You didn't have as many resources, and we have too much of it. So, right now, if I use my phone and search CLAT and questions, I will find 1000 number of sites giving me X number of questions. So, I am thinking, am I supposed to do A, B, C, 1, 2, 3? What exactly am I supposed to do? This is the dilemma I face as a student today. And what happens is, what is the best resource? Which coaching center is the best? Which school is the best? This is a question that we as students face. In reality, what we really need is one-on-one guidance, like what Stan said, counseling. This is where the counseling perspective comes into being. When we go to a counselor and we ask them to give us their perspective on things, we get clarity how to sort these 100 resources. He's absolutely right when he says that you can't use Reddit, but then again, what can I use? That is the question. And this is where counseling comes in, and which is very important.
Thank you so much. One thing I'm sure I'm going to do is between now till 5 o'clock, I'm going to do 20,000 steps. Okay. Talika, let's hear from you what you have to say on this.
I completely agree. I feel like there is an overwhelming amount of resources that are available to us. Not that it's a bad thing. I definitely think it's an improvement from previous times, I guess. But I believe that we really need to sort through them. We need to filter out what makes sense for us and suits us, what's a better fit for us. And I genuinely believe that my school counselor, my teachers play a huge role in that. They help me sort through the complexities of an application process, of what university is a fit for me as much as I am a fit for it. And I think that's really important to do.
Thank you so much. I feel like I'm going back to year 12 and getting bullied by high school students. But anyways, let's not go there. That's not a good term to use. I am going to quickly ask another question, and I want to understand from you, and I think it's a very important question I do understand. As you go forward in life, you grow, you become wiser, you don't become old with time, but when you become wiser with life, there are a lot of failures in life, and as a high school student, you're year 12. Have you come across any failures in life, and what that failure has taught you? Anyone wants to go ahead with it? I'm sure we all have a lot of failures. Let's go.
You know, this is one question I've been waiting for. I
Thank
want to
you.
really answer that question
Thank
because
you.
I do have a story. And I'll tell all of you. All of you here have been seeing the badges I've been wearing, and there's a story attached to it. So in our school, we have student council at two levels, a primary level and the secondary level. When I was in grade 5, I'd applied for head girl. And you know, deep down, I knew I will not get it. It's a feeling you know where you stand. So I knew that I applied nonetheless, and I didn't get it. But the failure didn't hurt. It's just the fact that I knew where I stood and I wanted to do better. So I changed that. Over the years, when that heartbreak happened, I made a promise to myself that eventually I will be that. I will have that goal in my mind. 7 years happened. I was a very shy speaker. I am speaking in front of you right now, so I did make an improvement. Then I had problems communicating in English, so I would not be able to speak at all. So I changed that. I would make myself watch English films, I would make myself do grammar books, all of that. And then leadership. So I would go out of the way, participate in different forums, participate in different forums, just to get a hang of how it's done. And eventually, after 7 years, I did get it. The point I'm trying to make here is in the goal, but the fact that over these 7 years, it was a journey and it has been tough to change all of that about you, to understand that yes, I may be wrong in some aspects. That is the point. So I did learn all of that, Ashish.
Excellent. Let's hear from Talika, Jay, and Siddhant what they have learned, and maybe I'll share my learning, which is not very exciting. Go on.
Right. So last summer, I had an internship with an organization which was having something known as the IWPL, which is basically IPL, but for differently abled people. So we had to design equipment. I was working with the team to design equipment using ergonomics to help them play with most efficiency as they could. And for at least a week or two, we were not able to figure it out because we were just getting the same outcome. The it was just a regular bat and a regular ball. But then what the okay, so I'm getting to a point is that we worked together, we put our heads together, we brainstormed different ways that we could create the equipment which would help them more and make the game more interesting, make it better for them, a better experience for them, which is what the overall aim was. And so I definitely believe that every experience that we go through has a different learning outcome and everything can be solved. So as long as we actually make an effort.
Excellent. Jay?
So, I mean, I've constantly always gone out of my way to audition for everything because I believe that you can try everything and you can get in if you're good enough. If you're not good enough, you may not get in, right? So, throughout grade 6, 7, 8, and 9 also, I kept on auditioning for competitions. I wasn't sent for a single competition till grade 10. Grade 10 was my first competition which I was sent for, and finally I got there, right? So I think it taught me the value of hard work and the value of constantly keep on trying and not give up. It taught me resilience. I think that is a value which is priceless. You have to keep on trying. You if there's one boulder in your way, you can't just fall back and say sorry, I can't do this. You have to keep on putting your best foot forward, keep on trying. I think that is what failure taught me because I kept on trying. I didn't get it. Finally, I was able to get somewhere. And for the first competition I went, I came second in that first debate which I went for after I've been auditioning for so long. So I think, yeah, my failure taught me resilience.
So I would like to say that I agree with all of them when they say that it's not just about reaching the final goal, it's about the journey. And I would like to give the example of sports. So our school, we have a football team which consisted of our seniors and our class. So every time we went for a competition, we lost. And the most recent one was a place where we lost at penalties in the first round, which really demotivated us. But we learned that our teamwork, our chemistry is not that great. So through that, we learned that we have to work together to play football and not alone. And eventually, we got better. And then the next competition that we attempted, and we reached the semi-finals.
Excellent. So one of the things which I can probably pick up from this whole experience is that failure is a very good teacher, and I think perseverance is one thing which you need to have in life to move forward, and always have plan A and plan B, and if the plan B doesn't work, have plan C and then D and E and F, then always have a backup plan. I want to understand one thing, because you guys are doing a lot for a year 12 student, believe me, a lot, because you have to manage your grades, and then you're applying, and then you also have these interests apart from your classes. How do you manage that? How do you manage your person's interest with the expectation from your family and the society? And I'm sure there's a pressure from your society or the family. I'm not sure if there is one. I'm just assuming. And when is there, if there is one, or if there isn't one, how do you go ahead with your higher education choices? Okay.
So I think I can start on this. So I'm grateful that I'm one of the privileged ones who my family hasn't put that much pressure on me. So I've been told that it's your own journey. You can chart your own journey. You should chart your own path. So I've been given the freedom to do whatever I want, to pursue my own interest. Like as I talked about debating, I was first interested in debating. I tried out debating also. There also actually I didn't do that. Didn't go forward and become such a good debater and become the best debater in the school, etc. But then I changed paths. So my family has given me then I pursued quizzing. So my family has given me the freedom to do what I want. In the start, I was interested in more sciences. Then I figured out my interest is social sciences, it's economics. So my family has given me the opportunity. They've told me, you apply also where you want, apply to whichever college you want to. They've given me the freedom. I think that is what is essential. And I'm glad for that.
So I again would like to agree with Jay that I too am grateful that family and society have been very open with me, and the pressure applied by them while choosing my subjects, and it was totally upon me to choose them. And I would like to say that it isn't the pressure applied by family or by society that really affects me. It's the pressure I put upon myself, which really changes how I work and sometimes puts me in a negative path. But other than that, uh, I can also, my family has been very open, and it's something that my father says that uh, I'll say it in Hindi, then I'll translate it. So, marks नहीं आए या आए तो हमेशा हमारा बेटा रहेगा, which is something that really affects me because whether you get marks or not, you'd always remain our son, and which really says something.
Yes, absolutely. You know, I believe we're at a juncture right now where it's no longer about what is being provided to us, it's about what we choose. In our school, we have 38 options for co-curricular activities, 32 for sports, and with all of that being able to manage, it's no longer about what they're providing to us. They're doing everything they can to give us all possible options. Now it's about what I want to pursue personally from all of them. So it's about time management at the student level. Sometimes it's also the students, not the school. And secondly, I too have been very privileged, like all of them. My parents, my family, all of them has been very supportive in what I want to do. And I made my decision back in 6th grade. So trust me, they believed me then as well that I'll be able to do it.
I am also very privileged. I feel like we're a very privileged lot here. My family has not put pressure on me based on what I want to pursue. They've told me that you do what you want to do. You should just be passionate about it and just be happy. So I feel like that's very important. But then, as Siddhant said, the pressure that we put upon ourselves is what is really hard. I feel like comparison is the thief of all joy, right? So we compare ourselves to our peers, to maybe our siblings, to what others are doing, and we start to focus less on what we're doing. We just think that they're doing so much. What are we doing? And I feel like that makes it really hard on us. I feel like time to reflect on what we're doing is very important. Time to manage our own schedule and not just fill it up and not have time for ourselves and our own peace is very hard on us.
You are coming from a privileged background, believe me. One thing is sure, either I am living in a parallel universe or I'm sure there's a generation gap between us. I didn't have that privilege. I didn't have the opportunity. Marks aaya nahi aaya. You are my son. Marks aane chahiye. Otherwise, you're out of my will. So that's about it. But I think I am glad to learn. I think I've been in this sector for almost 14 years. When I started working at the age of 22, but then I did go through year 12 and I did my undergraduate and everything. And I'm glad to see how it has changed over the years. The education system is now, or the society is now allowing you to make those choices. And you also have the opportunity of extracurricular activity. In my school, there was only one thing. Guess which sport it was? Of course. 100 points for that, if you were doing a Harry Potter thing over here right now. But moving on to my last question for today, and I think it's very important to understand from you as students because you're applying. And so in year 12, the biggest challenge is you apply for universities, you prepare for competitive exams, you have pre-boards, and then you have boards, and then you have to meet the deadlines. I'm not sure how many universities are there. Are there any universities sitting in this room? No? Jonathan, you're from a university. So yeah, I mean, I just want to understand from universities, if you had the opportunity, whether it's Indian or overseas universities, what message or advice would you give them in terms of adapting or changing their enrollment processes? I know the mic is going to Animita. I'm just bearing myself what's going to come out. But anyways, just let me finish the question. What kind of advice or let's say thing you would want to change in the enrollment process? And let's talk about from both the perspective, not only from the overseas perspective, but also from an Indian perspective. I know we are not still on time. I think we still got 15 minutes. Yeah, okay, yeah, perfect timing. Then we can leave early without having any questions. So Anumita, do you want to go first? Absolutely, absolutely. That's why I'm trying to wrap this up very quickly and get away from it. I don't want the limelight anymore. So what, do you want to go ahead on this?
Absolutely, I would. So, I believe there are two things that needs to happen. Point number one is universities need to talk to schools. In sense, we have entrance exams coming up. More often than not, they're the same time at our school exams. So we as students feel which one do we prepare for? Which one is more important? Is going to college more important than going out of school? What is the place that we have to do? So that conversation needs to happen between school and universities. And secondly, I believe universities need to make up some sort of a framework where they can help students who are willing to apply to them, in the sense that help them out with the process of entrance exams. They can be very, very stressful on students at times, which can cause a lot of distress in them. And there needs to be a framework where they can have a talk with them, make them understand things, so that the stress on them is lesser.
Perfect. That's a lot. Are we talking on a new education policy as well right now? Or are we talking it next year?
We're talking next year as well, but new education policy has been a great idea.
Thank you. Tulika, Jay, Siddhant, any comments on this question? No one wants to change or give any advice to the universities? This is your chance.
It's been previously mentioned. I believe that colleges and universities can definitely make it a lot more clear as to what they're looking for. Right now, what we see on the internet or on their brochures are very vague options that we can see on mostly every university's page. So, clarity is definitely going to be a lot easier for us to embellish upon. And yeah, I believe that.
Thank you. So there's one thing which I did when I was applying. I don't know if it doesn't exist anymore. When I was applying for my undergraduates outside India, when I met the university rep, they gave me a leaflet. It was not about the ranking and where they are based and whatever. It was kind of a timeline that if you are in this month, do this. If you're in this month, you do this. And it did make a lot of difference because it was right ahead in my room, in the wall. I could see it and I know what to do it. Do you think something like that would help?
Definitely.
Yeah? Okay, perfect. Thank you. You guys have been a great bunch. I know there's a huge age difference, but I feel like I am sitting in a high school. You guys have made me very comfortable as a person. You guys have definitely demonstrated that curiosity is not only for cats, self reflection isn't just for mirrors, and resilience isn't for rubber bands. These are true superpowers of successful students. To all our counselors and university reps who are sitting in the audience, I hope this discussion has inspired you to become the Yodas of these young Jedis and guide them through the force, not in a literal way, but helping in their college application. What I really want as a takeaway from this particular discussion is that as university reps or counselors, we have a duty towards students. It's not only about helping them with the college application, but also trying to make them understand that life is much more beyond just getting into the university. It's not only about a job interview or fixing an IKEA furniture. Life will throw a lot of curveballs in future, and you have to be prepared for this. Before we close down, we have 15 minutes. Yes, we are on time. Questions? Yes, absolutely. Without question, this is not going to be done. You want to start the question? Yes, go ahead. Okay, let's take the question.
Thanks for the very insightful discussion. One thing which I want to understand from your perspective, see, getting into universities, there are two approaches right now, which is in practice. One is you go through the 12th examination, then you get, based on your 12th examination, you get the admission in the university. There are some universities like foreign universities and current modern universities which are coming up with a counseling approach where you have a student portfolio plus extracurricular activities and whatever you do based on your interest, essay-based method. So can you throw some light on that? What has been your experience? Have you chosen your university for that matter, or still it is in progress? Because some of the universities which I know, they give provisional admission in grade 11. So just throw some light on that.
So the former perspective you mentioned, I think that has
apart
been-
from the format, how do you get into it? Based on the marks, or like you're
Yeah,
getting into?
yes,
Do you
I-
have any thoughts on that?
Absolutely. So the former thing that you mentioned, I think that perspective has been dying out, especially in India and abroad, definitely. So now we're looking at the latter, where portfolio matters, where entrance exams matter, all of that matter. So most universities have already adopted that as a measure. personally, mine is doing an entrance exam. Theirs might be doing portfolio based, right? So we have different perspectives there. As far as what I would want to do, definitely as students, we think the latter is better. We are getting to express what we really want in terms of portfolio, in terms of exams. So it's less pressure that way.
Very good afternoon. Excellent exposition. Thank you for this session, Ashish sir.
Sorry,
And,
can I just ask a question? Is there anyone else who wants to make a comment on that? Okay, go on.
So I would like to add that I personally prefer the latter process, because I think it is not only about applying to a university and getting there. It's also about reflecting on your life through that process. All these essays always start, I've noticed, with the word reflect. I think reflecting on your life and going and understanding your life and reflecting on it is what is important, and that has helped. That by writing these essays, etc., and being in the process of doing that, that and become better and be a better version of myself.
very good.
Thank you.
We understood, or I understood, that the role of the school career counselor is very important in your lives, and you all are satisfied with their role and the assessment they have made. Could you please explain what are the tools they have employed to identify your potential to reach to your goal? Thank you.
Right, absolutely. As I explained before in the session, in our school, we have a different approach altogether. So you have sessions personally, you have sessions in groups, as well as with the entire batch. We get to know general perspective, then slowly we get to the specialized perspective of each student. That's what's helping. And secondly, is the fact that we divide into 3 different sections. First section is what you want to do. Second is how you will get there. And third is what will happen once you get to the university. So bridging that gap between school and university and preparing the student for it, that's what helps us. So that's what has really helped me personally as well.
Any aptitude test and so on?
I personally did.
This
but
is
we-
like bombarding question, Anamita. So I just want to go back and say that I know they've been coming from a very good school, and I think they have the counseling for a very long time. And I think if anything to do with counseling and how the structure works and the assessment works, I think good platform would be to check with IC3. I think because each school goes through a different process altogether, but I think the fundamental of counseling remains the same. But if you want an answer for that, I would definitely go back and ask Anamita to just respond to that lady there.
Absolutely, yes. No, I have been very clear in my choices, ma'am. I knew it from 6th grade that I want to be a lawyer. And I did have an aptitude test as well, which confirmed that.
So let me just add, she was extremely clear, and I think she comes from a very clear background. I think in 6th standard I wanted to be a pilot, in 7th standard I wanted to be a chef, in 8th standard I wanted to be a doctor, then I did want to go to NASA, then I wanted to work for the Indian space, and look,
So it's
and I
plan A to
went
Z.
all over the world, not only India, I went all over the world, and I'm doing completely different, I think. But yes, it's good to have that clarity, and I think it's very rare to have that. And I think in somewhat way, when I hear her, I feel like she's one of those people probably where all the elements in her life, be it school, the teacher, the counselor, the family, or the society. I don't want to go with society you live in, because I think I've heard enough about the school. Excellent job, by the way, the
We are
school that you
here-
study in.
We are here to take the credit, the principal and the counselor as well as the vice
Thank you
principal.
so much. You've been doing a
But I want
terrific-
to add one thing, if I may.
Yes, please.
So both of us, she's our vice principal. She's also been the career counselor, Deepthi, and I'm the principal, director principal of the school. And we're both from psychology background.
Okay.
So while we took her as a counselor, while she joined us as a counselor, I put her into career counseling.
Okay.
Despite her, resistance to it.
Yeah.
And we work very closely as a team with our children.
Okay.
And not as early as class 6 at that time when she was in the 6th, but we're trying to do it now more and more at a younger and younger age group. But I want to come to the point of psychometric testing. I have personally gone through these psychometric testing for our children from various organizations. I know the DBDA, the personality schedule, the MBTI, the interest inventory, all that we know. And we can administer it also. But the reason why we don't do it, These things work only if the whole ecosystem supports it. So if your child has an aptitude, your student has an aptitude for humanities, say, related to humanities subjects, and the parents say, we want science, the poor child is going to go through a grind. The other thing,
I
we
am
find
the
it the other way
living
onwards.
example of that. If anyone
So why
wants to
put this
take the
poor
credit
student
out of
through all
it.
that?
But yes, but thank you so much. You're
Yeah.
doing a terrific job, and I think these
Thank
guys
you.
speak very highly of you as a school. And I think all four of them, the school where they come from, I think the counseling department is doing a terrific job, and I'm sure there are other schools as well who are doing a similar job. Are there any other questions? Because the two kids standing in the back waving me, that's 5 minutes are left. They're sitting on my head, making sure that I leave this mic in 5 minutes. Gone.
So first of all, congratulations to all of you because I can see that you're very focused and aware about what you're doing. Now, as a budding counselor, I'm just in the process of finding out how things work. So I'm just going to take you back in time. When you walk into the counselor's office, what do you expect? What are your expectations when you are entering that office?
I feel like everyone here would agree that we expect to find the answers to all our questions, all our queries. But many times that's
You know
not
the correct questions, what questions you are going to ask to that counselor.
Yes, because of course we have a doubt in our head that we want to get clear. That's the main goal, right? So, of course, even if we ask somewhat of a twisted question, they will always find a way to give us the right answer because they have those resources and they have shared those resources with us. So, for example, for our school, we have partnered with BridgeU, which is a portal where we can shortlist universities and have our own timeline. And as we spoke about psychometric tests, there are assessments in which we can get to know what kind of courses our minds are more inclined towards. So we have that also. So I believe the resources are great, and I feel like having access to those is even better.
Thank you. I've got 3 minutes left. And are there any universities in the room? I'm going to put them on spot. Do you have any questions from these kids?
Well, first, it's always refreshing to have students' perspective on the university side. I have two questions for you. The first one would be good to know if you are committed to university. If you, what school are you going to, and where is are you down to like a top 3, or so that way we also understand on our side your timeline, because right now you're probably just getting back to school. So we want to know how to support you better. The second piece is more university. We're trying to be counselors. But we're specialized in one area, is our university, compared to your counselors that have bigger outreach because they don't only cater to one person, they cater to a school. So I just wanted to kind of get your perspective on how you made your choice. Did you see your counselor as more of a gatekeeper, kind of getting that information and translating into you, or kind of be the exact opposite, like a gate breaker, to where you kind of mentioned it, saying I wasn't really sure, but my counselor really helped me. So kind of, I want to get your perspective. First, the school, that you're like your timeline, and then second, how do you see your counselors from the university perspective?
Thank you for the question. Before you answer that, we only have 2 minutes, so quickly.
So actually, about the timeline, I have a whole school day. Our counselors give us a timeline when we should take some standardized tests, etc., and how we should approach. That's what our counselors do. But I think how my counselor played a role in my life and in my students' life was mainly as someone who guided me, who gave me clarity in my direction, who helped me find my direction, who helped me find my purpose and my passion. I think that is what was key. When I walked into my council room, they asked me questions like, where have you shown initiative? Are you someone who shows perseverance? If yes, how? I think those questions helped me figure out, and that is what helped guide me. Those reflective questions about where I was recently filling up a self-reflection form for my counselor, and the first question was, how would you introduce yourself to university? So I think those questions have helped given me direction.
Thank you so much. I cannot take any more questions. The times are up. I'm sorry, Prachi, you're late. You should have asked the question before. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone. It was wonderful to have you all in this room, especially a few of my close friends who are sitting in the third and fourth row there. It's been wonderful hearing from the students and to the schools and their counselors and their parents. You guys are doing an excellent job. Thank you so much.